favorite things about the chamber is the mantra to advocate, connect, and grow. And so one of the things I want to do here at the very beginning, I'd love you to take your phone out. And I want you to Google this one question, all right? And at your table, I want you to talk about it. You're going to have about 45 seconds to talk about it. And here's what I want you to Google. The year you graduated high school, whatever year that was, the year you graduated high school, I want you to Google what was the highest grossing movie of that year. The highest grossing movie of the year you graduated high school. And you guys talk about it at your table. Some of you will have some comments. I want you to talk about it at your table. The highest grossing movie of your senior year of high school. You're doing great. You've got 30 seconds left. All right. Let's have somebody. We don't have time for everybody to share what was the movie, the highest grossing movie the year you graduated high school. Somebody from this section yell it out.
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back. Okay, good. Somebody in the back corner.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. All right. Somebody over in this area.
Exorcist.
And that is the one we end on. You know, one of the things that we hear a lot in the workforce is we hear a lot of people come to work, but they just do the bare minimum. A lot of people aren't really engaged. And you can drive down Highway 81 and see signs everywhere. Help wanted, open interviews, for an interview schedule, all this sort of stuff. That happens in every sector. It happens in the church world, which is where I've come out of. It happens in the restaurant, fast food. It happens in business, corporate. It happens everywhere. And one of the big complaints that we do is we say, angry eyebrows, arms crossed. Hey, how come people don't engage? You know, it's hard to find good people. And that's not true. But in a conversation like this with business leaders, let's focus on what we can't control. And so I want to give you a couple of stats that have come from this people operations kind of movement. It's like HR, but it's more focused on people. And there are these three stats that really jumped out at me as I was getting ready for this conversation. 72% of employees or team members say that recognition is the number one factor in their engagement. And so don't answer out loud, but I want to ask you, how do you recognize your team? Is it internal? Is it external? Is it Facebook Spotlight? Is it social media? What is an employee of the month? Like, how do you recognize your team? Not how do you think you recognize your team. It's a different question. How do you actually recognize your team? The second stat, 60% of employees or team members say their managers don't provide frequent enough recognition. This is maddening. Frequent enough because if you're like me, you'll be on the leader side of things. I'm like, frequent enough? What do you want from me? Like, I've got a job. We've got to keep the lights on. We've got to do all this sort of stuff. And you want me to hold your hand? It's okay, pumpkin. It's good. That can get maddening. But if we stop thinking about it, if we don't ever consider it, who's that affecting? It's affecting the team, right? And then 53% say their work is never recognized at all. Now, you and I are not that different. If I'm you and I see these stats, I'm immediately thinking, yeah, but what about this, and what about this, and what about this, and what about that? This is how I do it. And so I want to just kind of pause, and I want to smile, and I want to say, let's not get defensive about things that we are already doing. I'm not saying you're not doing it. I'm saying this is a great time for us to check. You know, again, the whole idea is to advocate, to connect, and to grow. And it's to advocate for you, the business. And I don't know anyone who does that better than Chris Deal and Sandy Stewart. They do it in front of the scenes. They do it behind the scenes. They do it late at night. They do it. I mean, all this stuff you already know. So here's my just a little question. Smile and say, when was the last time that you've appreciated the fearless leaders of the chamber? I'm not saying you don't do it. It's not what please don't hear me say something I'm not saying. I'm asking you, when was the last time? I think this word, the most powerful 3-letter word in the English language, is for. I said that, my 20-year-old daughter's home from college. She goes, really, Daddy? God? I'm like, yeah, okay, checkmate, right? So aside from God, the word for, I think, is one of the most powerful 3-letter words in the English language. And it's one that most people and most organizations are forfeiting. Because it's easier to be against something than to be for someone. And that's not the same thing. Not being against something is not the same as being for someone. I had a boss. He was a leader sometimes, but most of the time he was a boss to me. And one time we had this big initiative we were working on for our community, and I brought this solution, and he said, well, Mike, I'll tell you something. I won't stand in your way. And then he did this. You're on your own. That's not being against an idea is not the same as being for someone. And most of the time, especially in our community now, we're not gonna take, like fist in the air. Instead of being for somebody, we're more known by what we're against. And so today, whoops. Wow, that is really fast. I'm just going to do what you got to do. Like, whatever. If there's strobe lights or something, we can do that. I'm going to try to talk as fast as we can. I'm going to give you 4 things that will help your team know that you're for them. 4 things you can do to help them know. Number 1 is set clear expectations. Because it's really difficult to hold people accountable to expectations we didn't set clear. And not what did you say or what do you think you said, but what did we communicate? Number 2, be consistent. Be clear, be consistent. Be clear, be consistent. Be clear, be consistent. Number 3, do what you said you would do. Not what I meant to do. This also works. It works here in the conference room. It also works at home in the living room. Do what you said you would do. I'm quick to have excuses for why I didn't, but sometimes I'm not willing to listen to valid reasons. I put them in excuses why other people didn't do the thing. So, number 1, set clear expectations. Number 2, be consistent. Number 3, do what you said you would do. And number 4, be specific with your praise and encouragement. Publicly, in front of a team, be specific. Hey, good job, way to go. What did I do? Because I want to do it again. I want to meet your approval again. But if you say, hey, way to go. So if you could be really specific. Hey, I love orange juice, and I love there's just the right amount of ice in the orange juice jug in the back, or whatever it is. Be specific. That's going to go a long way helping people know that you're for them. Do you want people to follow you or obey you? Do you want the people on your team to follow you or simply to obey you? That question sucks. Because most of the time, if I'm being super honest, I would rather, I say I want people to follow, but sometimes with my actions, it's I want you to obey the first time, every time. So as a leader, we got to look in the mirror. Do I want people to follow me, or do I want people to obey me? And if I want people to follow me, that's a different thing. And now I want to help them know that I'm for them. Leadership 101, what gets rewarded gets repeated. That's not tricky. You know that. Jim Collins said it in Good to Great. You've heard it in all these different books. That's not tricky. So when you see someone doing something good or great, call it out. Make a big deal about it. My name is Mike. I have an organization called Mike Conn Coaching and Consulting. And we partner with organizations to help move their team members to becoming teammates. We solve the problem of division and disunity in the workplace. And we do that by talking about 4 key topics: communication and culture, execution and teamwork, leadership and supervision, and personal development and growth. And if you have any questions, anything you'd like to add, you can text me there. Oh, it stopped. I didn't even know that it stopped. Thank you for stopping. You can go to my website, Lots of information you can find there. It's my honor to be part of the chamber and to be part of this community.